What is a cryptid? As defined by the first Google search, an animal whose existence has no evidence. This was a surprisingly vague definition to me, even though I don't know what else to define it as myself or what to add to it. Well, existent cryptids sometimes seem to exist as an explanation for something, such as dead livestock or a general change in the environment. If not that, then a picture of something unexplained. So I'll be trying to stick to that. When doing research, I will mostly just be using Wikipedia because it's easier. And on Wikipedia, cryptids are categorized in 3 categories: aquatic or semi-aquatic, land, and wind. So I'll be using the guys in those categories as a reference if I feel like it, okay? Okay, first one. My main thought of creating this creature was taking a ferret, sizing it up a whole lot, making it kinda resemble a fish or eel, and giving it big ol' curved teeth. Onto the background information. The first clear sighting was in the late afternoon when a photographer was circling a lake, trying to find something interesting to photograph. For hours the lake had been nearly silent, besides from a bird landing on the surface every once in a while. During the last couple of walks around the lake, the photographer caught something out of the corner of their eye, coming up from the water. They quickly turned and snapped a picture. The photo was soon shown to a few friends, who then told others about it, then spread it enough for it to become somewhat of a town legend. A few years later, a fisherman went to the same lake with his friends to fish. After almost an hour, one of them caught something and tugged it ashore, to which the thing immediately lunged forward and latched onto the fisherman's leg, almost taking his whole calf in his mouth. It took the 3 friends to pry open its jaw enough for the fisherman to get his leg out. The thing then backed up and crawled back into the lake. These 2 cases have been blamed on the same creature that resides in the lake. Okay, to start off, this was the very last thing I actually designed because I didn't really like anything that I thought up. At first, this was going to be a carnivorous deer, and that means I just put some sharp teeth on a deer, which is great. Then I actually thought to Google if deers can already eat meat, and apparently they can. And after that devastating blow, a distant memory surfaced. The water deer, or the cooler name, the vampire deer. I don't know how I forgot about this animal, so the beast I have created already existed, therefore it had to be destroyed. So then I moved on to another animal with antlers, a moose. A moose is already really threatening, so instead of giving it sharp teeth, how else can you make it more threatening? I can make it big. So this guy is literally just a big moose. Okay, so the background info. There was this town where hunting was huge. It became a game of sorts to see who could come back with the most impressive catch. One hunter went deep into the forest to his usual hunting spot and waited, and soon a moose steps into the opening and quickly he noticed the size of it. It was more than 2 times bigger than a normal moose. In his awe, the moose noticed him and ran away. When he got back, he told everyone he could about this sighting, which led to others searching for it and allegedly having more sightings. But no one has yet been able to kill it. Finding and killing this thing has become a town obsession, with huge bounties being placed on this creature. This one is my favorite, even though it is also pretty unoriginal. It is just a harpy, but instead of it being a woman's head attached to a bird of prey's body, It is a woman's head attached to the body of a rooster. I spent the most time doing this one because later on I got caught up doing the coloring, which I did end up enjoying. This one ended up being the most finished out of the three. More than anything, I just really like how this one ended up looking in the end. An old woman lived on a farm with her animals, one of those animals being a rooster. Every morning at sunrise, the rooster would crow and wake her up. But this pattern changed one day, when instead of being awoken by crowing, she was awoken by the sound of screaming. A shrill, high-pitched screaming that resembled a child's. The woman jumped up and went outside to try and help what she thought was a child in pain or distress. When outside, she followed the voice until she ended up right below where the rooster would normally sit. Then she looked up and was met with a dead-eyed stare. The small face of a woman was staring at her with emotionless yet incredibly tired eyes. And it was still screaming, just as, if not louder than before. The head was seemingly just placed on top the neck of a rooster. And the next morning, the rooster was back to normal. I'm done. Yay! Woo.